We are here on a Wednesday. That means it is house tours day, and this week is Exiles' turn. So we have about 5 homes. Hopefully they all work today. 5 homes that we'd like to visit, and we'll get started with that really soon. First, I want to make a couple of reminders. There is a new Humble Bundle out. WildStar just made the announcement sometime last night. They are in the Humble Bundle. It's kind of like a charity thing, I guess, where you make a donation, and for your donation you get X amount of games and little special packs or whatever. And there is one for WildStar where you get like a jump starter pack. You can find more about that through their announcements on the forum and on their official website. But I just wanted to make mention that the decor that's available in the Jump Starter Pack, I noticed some people saying that they were getting it especially for that or for the hoverboard. I would say if you're going to get it for anything specific, the hoverboard is probably the main thing, because the decor itself is actually already available on the housing vendor. Just to let you know that those particular housing decor items are nothing exclusive to the pack. The hoverboard might be, but the decor isn't, because those are actually available on the housing vendor on live right now. And as far as I know, they're not going anywhere. So just thought I'd mention that. As well, there is a new thing for NA side on Entity Exiles. It's called Wednesday Building Bonanza and is being hosted by Dr. Leskov. There is a link in the housing subforum on the official forums. You can go directly there, or you can follow the link that is on my Twitch channel page in the resources section. It's at the very bottom of the list. Basically, from what I gather is every Wednesday at 5 p.m. PST, Leskov is going to be hosting kind of like a workshop. They're going to be covering KBT, so one-on-one tutorials for that on how to use Katya's add-on. Things like basic custom creations, I guess, to show you like maybe how to make a chair or a sink or door or something like that. They're also going to be covering landscaping, among several other things that they listed. So if you're on entity side, NA on Exiles, and you're interested in learning a little bit more in depth about housing, how to use just the basic, advanced controls kind of thing, and that you already have, but also want to learn about Katya's add-on and how better to use it, this is definitely something I think you would want to check out. I did see they mentioned, while it's currently only Exile side, the person that's running it is considering striking up a Dominion character to maybe get it on that side as well, if the interest is there. So if you are on Dominion side and you would like them to bring it over to that faction, be sure and pipe up in their thread. Let them know about it so that they will be more motivated to do that. But it sounds like a really good deal. If I felt confident myself in explaining Katya's add-on, I might be willing to do something like that, but I don't. Hopefully, someone on EU side gets hyped about it and wants to put something up similar for us, but for now it's just NA Entity Exiles. But for those of you that are in that neck of the woods, it's a great opportunity, I think, so definitely take them up on the offer. As far as I know, it's going to be every Wednesday that they'll be doing these, so I'm sure they'll be covering all sorts of things. But it's something that maybe it will spur others to do this, do the same. So if Wednesday doesn't work for you, let them know, and maybe they will expand it to take up other days, maybe a weekend class or something like that. Anyway, so that's the announcements for now. So let's get started on the house tours. First, let me do a quick tweet to let folks know that we are touring right now. That is done. Let me close that window. I've got like a bunch of windows open. Okay, so today we're starting on Dusty Nova's plot. It's called Nova House, but if I turn around and show you what's actually here, you'll notice that it's another, it looks like a Battle of Hoth. We visited a similar plot. I believe it was on Dominion side. It could have been on Exiles. I get them confused, so apologies if I'm wrong on that. But you can look through back some of our past episodes, and you will see that there's actually some other Hoth-related plots. But this one, while it's similar in theme, they've actually constructed things a lot more differently and taken a different approach. This one shows a little bit more overly destroyed. What are those things called? AT-ATs or something? I'm not sure. I'm probably getting the terminology wrong. While I do watch Star Wars and stuff, I'm not like very accurate in my terms. But you can see they've used it's really kind of hard to see with all the flames, but it looks like hanging wires. That looks like the maintenance platform. There's a lot of like triangle pieces of the Orin persuasion. There's exile barriers. These are some kind of altar thing or pillar. I can't remember what exactly it is. And then you got the red moon vents for the joints. And let's see, for the guns, it looks like some of that new spaceship decor from the Space Chase. I can't be sure about that. And then they've used like frozen lakes or some of the ice on top of it, I guess, to kind of make it, you know, as if it was, you know, absorbed in the snow and everything. But again, it's another example of how 2 people or 3 people can take the same theme and just create something that's similar, but they have their own uniqueness. I mean, this one's using plates for the feet. It's actually a pretty nice looking feet. Again, using those, I don't really remember the name of these, some kind of altar pillar thing. Red moon vents for the joints. For most of the construction, it looks like Granox style building blocks. And then I think, again, these are some of the new ship parts. It's really kind of hard to tell what all they've got used there, but it's a lot of detail. I think some of these are some of the turrets, some of the new turrets that they're using for that. That looks like a combination of magnetized containers. Those are the metal briefcases here on this bit. That's looks like a exile shelf sticking up there. Took a lot of time and thinking on trying to combine all of these parts. Here you have some, looks like Ichthian lamps. Again, the suitcases. It's also kind of hard to get a good angle at seeing some of this, but yeah, see they've added in some glass so that maybe we can kind of get a better look at some of these bits. I'm just going to walk up here and see if we can get in here. Yeah, here's a top view of one of the walking, I don't know what you call it. Is that, maybe that's the AT-AT? I really don't know. It's either the big one or the little one. A lot of Orin floors, tubes. You know, granted, maybe their construction isn't completely solid, but it could be that they're in the process of finishing it up. I like how they've added to the ships, the little decor ships that you can get from running expeditions. They've added little bits to them to make them a little bit more unique. I think that's supposed to be like one of the X-Wings. Then you have, I guess this is one of the, I don't know, is this supposed to be the Millennium Falcon? Kind of that shape. I could be wrong though. Lots of Cassian floors and tubes. Got some Ichthian fences there. Yeah, here's the gunner thing there for that. Look, it's got little protostar guys in there for them to shoot. Go ahead and go up here, see what else there is. You know, it's unfortunate that we have to add these little helper steps just to get up to this bit. But I appreciate it because then it allows you to kind of come in, even though they've staged a little scene, they make it so that you can come up and kind of take a closer look. So here's one of the, I guess it's the TIE fighter. You can see it's a combination of triangle pieces. They chose Cassian for the design. Some of the Eldon tube thingies, I don't know what they're called. Morning, Nibbin and Ninit. Glad you could join us. Sorry if I get those confused. It's kind of close, both N-words. They're using some, looks like holodomes to create the sphere here. And then it looks like one of those massive ocular spheres. It's like the giant eyeball, and they're using that to give that green, and then they cover up the bits that they don't want. I could be wrong about that, but that's what it looks like. It looks like the eyeball, but they've got it so encased and disguised that you can't really tell. And of course, they got the nautical wheel in front. I like how they're simulating the little laser shots, because again, they're trying to, you know, set a scene here that it's in action. So they're using the Ichthian fences. Because you can get the one where it's like doesn't have posts on each end. They're making it so that this one's shooting lasers into this one. I think that's a pretty clever approach. And here you have, I guess that's supposed to be one of the Imperial ships out here. Really difficult to see exactly what they're using. It looks like a lot of orange floors, just like triangle pieces and floors stacked to get that shape that they want. Really hard to see what else is, but that's, you know, pretty nifty in my opinion. Okay, let's see if I can safely maneuver back down without falling to my death here. But as I said, you know, even though someone picks a theme that you're working on or that you're thinking about working on, don't let that deter you from giving it a try, because generally speaking, no two approaches to the same theme are going to be exactly alike. You may have similar elements. I mean, both places have the TIE fighters, both places have the AT-ATs and all of that other stuff, but it's their own, you know, it's their own version. Even like how they set up the icy parts is all different. How they staged it is different. A lot of the parts they use is different. Like if I recall rightly, these they didn't use these for the little, I don't know, the generator thing, the power source. But the protostar panels work really nicely for that. Again, they're using the Ichthian fences to kind of simulate that, the lasers in action. So they're shooting from here and trying to hit that little TIE fighter thing. Not that TIE fighter, what is it called? Yeah, I don't know. The little guns here, these are, it looks like the metal plate. It's just the bottom of it because it's got that nice shiny metal-y look. This is the new Exile gear light. Just some cylinder or tube pieces, and then an Ichthian lamppost, I think. That little arm bit. Now, the other one, they had the little bunker areas here too, but this one took a little different approach. So we're going to go on this side first. So you've got these little places for the ships to be prepared, but they've also got these little tunnels connecting some of it. So here you have really nice little setup. They even got little people in here. It almost looks like they even really worked hard to pick out the right costumes to kind of match the outfits that the people had in the movie. But again, it's a lot of Oran floors and triangle pieces, Ichthian lamps for the gunware. I think that's one of the turrets, metal magnetized container thing. A lot of ergonomic keyboards for the buttons, and some various panels like the Dominion panel and the little controller thing. Then you can go, now this is where we came in to the other way, and then if we go this way, it leads up into, I can't quite remember. It's like some kind of, I don't know, engine room or something. Maybe it's the generator for the little base. Go back down through the tube and go into the last one over here. And this takes you to, I don't know, I assume it's some kind of a control station. I figured it's where presumably like they would be checking all the ships, the little escape pods and things, getting, leaving the planet, trying to make sure they get there safely. Let's see. I'm going to take a look just around the outside, make sure I didn't miss anything. You got the big gun here. It's basically, it looks like a dome or a hollow dome with one of the turrets sticking out. It could be one of the guns as well. There's a lot of little machinery that those that do spacey stuff really use a lot of, which I don't, so I tend to forget the names of the core. Here you have the little cave, a little hint that there's something here, and I guess this would be the, I forget what it's called. Is it called a wampum, or it's that Yeti thing that it's all of them. So they have this little stage. The other one, they did theirs in the bunker, and this one's like right up. So here's, he's already getting ready to grab a hold of his little lightsaber that was stuck in the snow. So again, similar elements, but their approaches were different. An alternate entrance exit there. Okay, so the bunker place. See if I can remember where this is. I want to say, yeah, it's right out here in the front. Now, like I said, the one that we visited not long ago, the bunker, they use that for the cave of the snow monster. This one took it differently. They used it as an actual, for the building structure. So I really like how they've done the doors. They've made the The entryways all have a little bit of thickness. Now they could have took it a step further and just copied this little round bit all the way through and had it really thick. Of course, that takes up a lot of decor, but it would have made it look a little bit more finished. But this is still a good way, you know, a good approach to it. I don't know what they're using for the little symbol. I assume it's one of the new space pieces that they're using for that. But this is just a porthole window that they're using for the door. So it looks like a hatch that, you know, can be open or closed, and it's just being left open here for easier access. Now, whether they plan to do that for all of them, I don't know, but you can see they use it in some places. Now, this part of the build does look a little like unfinished, so it could be that they're planning to add to it. But I just wanted to show it because I like a lot of the elements that they chose to put in here. This is like one of the control panels, and then it's got the, I assume, the round lounge drinking table and a tire to make this combination here. Let's just go down on the downstairs first. Got the little medical facility here, and then of course another little room. If you go into the little enclosed area, you'll see their version of R2-D2 here. They used just, again, it's those, I guess it's Eldon pillar things, the Red Moon vents for the wheels, Orin domes and tubes for the body, and then just different bits for all the little buttons and stuff. So you've got neon signs. I think this is, I can't think of the name offhand. It's something in the, like a, like one of those little bot things that you can get. It's like a perimeter thing, and I think this here, the little rotating thing, is like a fence post of some sort. It's like a security fence post or something like that. Okay, I think that's all of the rooms downstairs. Then you go upstairs, and they've got a similar setup. Got this one that you can go through a tube. Again, they repeat this a lot. They sometimes change the little interior to different looks. This is like the main generator power room. Then you have like individual bits here. So like here's another, the combination of Eldon pillars and the holographic shop sign to give that nice green funky look. If you're wondering what this is, it looks like a vent. It almost looks like one of those doors that would kind of like open. That's really the mailbox, the Chua mailbox. You'll see that repeated up here several times. Here it is again. So it looks like, you know, a door to someplace else, but it's just mailboxes. Lots and lots of mailboxes. Again, repeating it here. So it makes it look like there might be more areas. The storage. The main walls is all of those reinforced barriers. There's different versions. Some are a little thicker and things like that. So if you're wondering what the light is, that's the bottom of the hovering medical cot. And that brings us back to where we started. So that is Desti Nova's plot. It's called Nova House, but if you're really, you know, a fan of Star Wars, definitely come by. Got a lot of nice elements, especially, you know, for those that really like to build robotic, mechanical type things. This is a fun place to come visit, just to see how they combine certain items to make them look the way they want. I certainly couldn't come up with a lot of this. beyond me. Okay, so our next house is, let's make sure it works before I announce it, is one that was posted on the forums. I kind of run by it, and I guess I caught it when it wasn't quite ready for showing, but since they posted it, I figured, well, they must be ready for it to be publicized. So this is Grunkle Stan's Mystery Shack. Now, I had no idea what this was based on, but apparently it is in homage to Gravity Falls, which is an animated series. I don't know if it's available everywhere. I've never heard of it myself, so I really won't be able to appreciate as much as someone that's familiar with the show what all they've done here. So I couldn't say if this, maybe this totem is actually, totem pole kind of thing is actually in the show, and maybe it isn't. I have no idea. But I appreciate a lot of the detail that went into the construction of this home. So basically, the grounds is pretty barren. It's just a lot of trees. There's this little camp fire set up here. And as far as I could tell, there really isn't a whole lot more. As far as the landscaping, it's just a lot of various pine trees. They've got some of the Eldon enhanced trees just to kind of break up the monotony of the type of trees that they use. But it's pretty, as you can see, it's pretty blank. So the main concentration is the house itself. Now, when I came here before, I looked for access to a bunker house. I couldn't find it. It could be that I just am clueless about where they might have put it, or they hid it well, or there was never any intention to use it. But so let's take a look at the exterior of the house first. So when I first came here, it was pretty dark, so it was hard for me to see, but you can see that, well, it's really hard to get a good view of this. It's called the Mystery Shack, and from what I read, it's like a tourist trap kind of thing. It's like a gift shop. I don't know exactly what the series is about, other than I think it's a couple of kids and it follows the adventures of them. And in some point, or maybe regularly, they come into connection with this Mystery Shack. And the builder of this plot decided to build that shack. You'll see that the roof is primarily Draken walls. So it's made to look like roofing tiles. And in the back especially, you can see where they've gone to great trouble in kind of breaking it up to really make it look like wooden shingles almost. Just how they've layered it and mismatched it here and there. It really does a good, a good job of simulating that roofing. For the stairs, for example, like right here, they've actually used what appears to be the cellar entrance for the base of it, and then they just patched it in with granite walls. I think that's what those are, because it appears to be like a thin wall, and they've just layered it up. So the coloring is basically the same. It's that nice gray color, but it gives the illusion that it's a nice little staircase they've built. Other than the Draken walls, there's bits of pillars being used. There's Exile triangles and floors as well for a lot of the construction of the home itself. There's for this porch area, it's a combination of the staircase, deck railing, and deck patio bits with pillars being used as the beams. These are the green thorny logs that frame this doorway, this entrance into it. Again, over here you have Draken walls. For the lettering, I think it's primarily hover part pieces for the shack word. For mystery, I think it's really hard to see up there. I think it's 2x4s. And I happened to see some of the pictures of the Mystery Shack, and they've done a good job of sticking with how it's set up, you know, with the S having been fallen. So it's kind of dilapidated, you know, it's not exactly all in pristine shape. So here's an enter sign. And again, if you take a look at pictures on Google of the Mystery Shack, you'll see that they've really tried to stick as close to the representation of it with all of the signs and everything. You know, we don't have a lot of signs that, you know, actually have actual words on them, so you have to make them. And again, this is the lettering here is 2x4s. The only problem with that is, as you can see, as you get further away, the rendering kind of breaks it up, so it doesn't render as well as you probably would hope, but you do the best you can. The gift sign, it's a little hard to read, and that's basic, you know, mostly because of the choice of wood that they used. That's the back of, I think it's one of the portraits, and the frame itself is a different picture. It's the reclining woman picture. But they've used all of it in combination with, I believe it's hover park lettering to get those nice curves for the G. So it's a little hard to read, but if you're familiar with the show, you'd automatically know what it's supposed to say without really struggling. I like the little ice machine here. I assume that's what it is. When we go to like convenience stores in the States, they usually have these little, you know, things, and you pop open the door and you give your bag of ice or whatever. The corrugated roof is made with curved walls of the granite style. It's a really nice effect. I like the way it looks, but it's pricey in that it took a lot of curved walls to make that whole little section there. I've seen other people use the rain gutters. That's another alternative. You still have to use a lot of pieces, but the rain gutters, they have them in long form, so you could get away with one per row instead of maybe 4 pieces to get the 1 row. The staircase, I believe, is one of those new, I guess it'd be either it's like the stone steps. I don't know if it's taurine or Osen. It's one of the two. Let's see, did we talk about what's over here? Yeah, again, this is decking, and then they've repeated the corrugated roofing to kind of, you know, match it up. Again, it's a shack, so you expect some little mismatched bits. So we'll just go in the front door here. Now, when I visited last, this was primarily the room that's most concentrated on, because it is representative of the little, I guess it's like a souvenir shop. And I kind of gathered that it was like for like a place where you get souvenirs for like UFOs and Bigfoot and things like that. I don't know why I get that feeling. Like I said, I don't know the show, but that's what I get out of it. So here you have a bucket of maps, rolled maps. The maps is just the note in a bottle decor, and they've just kind of hidden it so that, you know, enlarged it and hidden the bottle, so it looks like a, you know, a lot of different scroll bits. This is supposed to be, I guess, where you get your frozen popsicles. I'm judging by not only that it's frozen inside there, but also because of the little makeshift sign that they made. It looks like a little popsicle stick kind of thing. I love the little magazine rack. It could be postcards, it could be magazines, comics, who knows, but I still like it. I even like the little like question mark there. would assume it's representative of what's in the show, but I really couldn't say because I've never seen it myself. But the rack itself is made of hover part pieces for the little question mark up here, Exile dome for the little dot, and then wooden 2x4s for the rest of it, from what I can tell. The little ice machine is basically framed glass, Oran walls, probably the small icy platforms that you can get from the housing vendor for the big chunks of ice in there, and then 2 pillars for the framing of it. The little counter here is just staircase landings put together. I like the little jar of eyeballs. Like, strange that you would see that. This is just the empty trophy cabinet, and they just sunk it down so that you only see part of it. This little thing, I think it's supposed to be one of those old-fashioned diving helmets. From what I can tell, it's a combination of those porthole windows, a regular window. It looks like the handle of a vintage beer mug, a metal plate for the bottom, and then for the helmet part itself is the top of one of those tall files. The interesting thing, again, I assume it's based on things that's actually found in the shop in the show. Then you have this little book area, towels, more posters. I'm trying to figure out what this is. I guess it's maps and things, maybe for traveling, so you can know about the area that you're in, like travel maps or something. I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to be. I see the symbol elsewhere in the house, so like I said, I get the feeling it's representative, like they're into like conspiracy theories and things. Here's a nice little display cabinet where they've got some artifacts for sale. Again, it's staircase landings, framed glass, and then it looks like Oran floors for the base of the display case. Again, they've got the same little rack over here. And up here, it looks like hanging flying saucers just made out of those metal plates put together. And then this little display is just those Dominion scrolls, just 3 of them lined up, and then put the little. I like the decoration of the glass that they've used. Folks have found some clever ways to combine the glass to make different designs. I mean, you see this one, it's got the diamonds over here. They've also found a way to make these nice, lovely diamond shapes. It's just a curious arrangement of the frames. That's one way to get those patterns out of there. So then we come into what I assume is the living room. It's like a personal home, but the front room they're using as the shop. So you come into the actual homeowner's quarters. You have the little dining room here. You got this little aquarium that they've set up. I don't know exactly what they're using for the back part. I assume it's several layers of glass to make it brighter blue, but I don't know for sure. The cabinet itself is hover park floors, 2 pillars. It looks like the tops of bottles. and hover part pieces to simulate the drawers and cabinetry at the bottom. I really like the way they've broken up the walls too. I'm real bad about just leaving it solid wall all the time. And those that come up with these interesting ways to kind of break that up, they've got the granite floors with the, I guess it's the Exile pillars, and then the decking pieces as trim on the bottom. Really dresses that wall up nicely. Yes, it costs you more because it's extra decor that you're putting there, you know, rather than using a single piece for that whole wall. But, you know, if you can afford it, it's a really nice touch. Then we come into the kitchen. Again, you can see they've used that nice little patterns. I want to say that's probably just glass with 2x4s used for the pattern itself. That's what it looks like over here. Harder to see on the other side, but there you go. The refrigerator is Exile mattresses with airtight containers parts over here. And then for the countertop, that is probably the bar with, it looks like hover part pieces being used for the cabinets and drawers, with again the files being used for the handles. Up above, down below, it's the vintage beer mugs again. The oven is a combination of that new Winterfest fireplace. Then they've covered the fireplace itself with a flat metal table, and then topped that with one of the granite hatches. The hatch, even though it's supposed to be like a door, it's not a functional door, but folks have been finding fun ways to use that, and that's what they use that for, like the opening of the oven. I believe this leads to the outside. Yeah, to that back porch area. Notice they're using, it looks like a square haystack as a, like a welcome rug on the inside. I didn't notice that the last time I was here. Fun. So this leads out to the back part of the house. So you have, looks like a little entertainment area. You've got a stage and a little table with drinks and things. The stage itself is another hover part piece from what I can tell. Again, love the design, the diamond design in the glass, but again, it appears to be 2x4s being used. So just think about all the pieces that had to be used to create that. So this is the back entrance. Notice a little, rather than having the disco globe, they've got one of those buoyant crystals acting as that. What else is down here? Back here, it looks to be like a home office where they keep the books. The little shelving here, which is really cute, is just decking pieces. Make a simple little cabinet here. The safe is several of those metal tables, and then that granite door again. The bulletin board is just an orange floor. It's simple stuff, but you know, in combination with each other, it really, again, it's just those extra little steps of adding detail to your home that can go a long way in making it really personal. Here's the bathroom. The tub is just a hover barrel. And then again, they repeated the cabinetry with the hover part pieces, using those for the doors and stuff. Okay, here's looks like a trophy room where they've captured creatures or killed them and got them mounted on the walls. Strange combination of things. I mean, they've got, I think that's a root, but it's got antlers on it from the, look, some of these are weird. I mean, that's like the buffalo moose with the malvarine body. I guess they just wanted to make some strange combinations. Here you have like another little Google totem to kind of mimic outside where they had it. Again, the diamond windows, really nice. And of course, this is the entrance that had the logs. You can go in there. Now it looks like I might have found where the bunker house is. So we're going to save that for later, I think. Well, maybe not. I don't see a door. Anyway, this looks like a little personal bedroom. I like the little 3-windowed kind of thing. You know, you could almost use those for like a divider, even arrange them differently. And fortunately, it doesn't seem to have any access to a bunker house that I've discovered. I thought maybe, because that's the. So if there is one, I've yet to discover how to get to it. So this is the upstairs, looks like. So this is another access to the little party room stairway that we didn't take before. Again, it's just railing pieces from the decking, the staircases that come as is, with exile floors to kind of patch it in so you don't see stuff below. So first room here, bathroom, close it, see that there's actually a sink. A little bit of a tight fit there. Like a little puzzle here. That was weird. See right through the wall. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be with the hammer on the table, but looks like a little living room kind of thing. Again, I get the feeling that there's probably more that they would like to add, but maybe they've just run out of decor count up here. It's possible. There's a lot of detail on the house itself, so it's very probable that they're getting short and just aren't able to add as much detail as they would like. Using a little lamppost as the night light on the desk there, or the table. Another little safe. See, there's an empty room. So it's indication that there's probably more to come, or that they would like to be adding more. They just haven't been able to get. There's a little storage room, generator room kind of thing. I think that's all of it on that floor. Then we go up to the next floor, and you have this lovely little, it's like a daybed kind of thing. And look at the intricate symbol here. It's like the all-seeing eye kind of thing going on. It reminds me of oh, I can't even think of the name of it. It's the one with Jim Carrey in it. It's like Unfortunate Event or something. That's what it reminds me of. Here's another little bedroom scene. Again, keeping the windows interesting, finding ways to patch up the roof, to keep that nice clean shape. There's a lot of work that went into making this house. And look at even the pillars and banisters and stuff that they used. A lot of people don't think about, bracing all of that and everything. Like I said, it's a lot of detail. I like that stuff. I like the little makeshift ladder going up to the attic part. And there's actually a little storage area here too, but last time I looked, it was empty. Maybe it's the little Harry Potter house or something. But as far as I can tell, we've been through the whole house and didn't find any access to the bunker, which I assume is there. It could be that they've just left it as those, for those that don't have a home, whether it be bunker or otherwise, you have that construction site. It could be just that, for all I know. But definitely worth a look for those that are, planning on making their own home. While this one is kind of dilapidated, it still gives you some good ideas on windows, how to do the stairs and stuff. There's a lot of examples of those. And just, basic wall treatments. It's a really good place to come and take a look. So that was Grunkle Stan's Mystery Shack plot. Next up is hope I spelled that right, yeah. Stella Delcazar or Delquazar, it's one of the two. I apologize if I pronounce your names wrong. It's just me being doofy. This is another one I'm not really familiar with. It's supposed to be representative of BioShock. And specifically Rapture, which, as I understand it, is an underwater city. So this is kind of like a good example of why a lot of folks detest how the plot works as far as if you have a custom home and how the skies affect it. They chose the underwater sky, obviously, due to their choice of theme. But as you can see, even on the interior of the buildings, the water's visible, the little bubbles. For some, that breaks the immersion because you would naturally want there to be no bubbles, water bubbles inside on the interior, but there's no way for us to tell the game, hey, we don't want that in this part of the plot. We only want it on the outside, because to the game, all of this is on the outside, even though you've built buildings. But anyway, you can see that they've done their best to build up the city type of thing. I don't know what they have the plot encased in. I don't know if that's just the way the underwater sky looks. I've only used it once and for a very short time, so I'm really unfamiliar with how it looks up above. But you can see they've built in buildings using like Draken walls and just the regular windows. They put signs, and some you'll see where there's walkways and such. But they've built it up so that it appears to be an underwater city. And then you have access to some of it, not all of it, at least from what I can tell. The tunnel doors are basically those gear lamps, and it's making it look like you slide closed or whatever. So here we have a tunnel leading out to the first building, and you get some good shots of, again, they've made up buildings using various walls, like I think that one's using Exile walls for that skyscraper over there. They varied it with signs and the different types of windows. The tunnel itself is made out of hover part pieces for the bottom and then curved glass for the top. Lots of various plants to represent, underwater stuffs. So you've got a common, some of it is strain related. You've got some of it from the, I want to say it's the Shades-EU stuff. There's just regular like leafy bramble bushes. You got the little sunfish plushies. A lot of those around. You'll see them scattered. I'm sure they probably use some of the shellacs too. I just didn't spot any. There's Far Side's jelly ants that they're using for some of it. It's just an interesting approach. That's the spore bushes, then you got the spore trees. They give off those extra little bubbles as well, which is a nice effect. The doors, I'm not sure exactly what all they're using in combination for those. But again, most of the construction of the tunnel is hover park piece. So then we come to the I think it's the only, well, kind of the only building you have access to, which appears to be like a bar, a dance hall. The bar being down below. All the Halloween candy available, and then up above is the dance hall area. You have the DJ up above there. Got this little place for the performers. Got a really nice view of the underwater city. You can see how they've made it look like there's access to more areas in the city, but as far as I can tell, you only have access to this building and the little medical wing over here, besides the bunker house. But for a particular, a specific theme like this, I think they did a really good job pulling it off. And for those that want to try something similar, it gives them a lot of good ideas. Here's the bathroom. They got the little stalls for the toilets. And then, of course, they've made their own custom sink cabinetry. It's just made out of, looks like curved granite or Draken walls for the sink part. Looks like waterfalls for the water, the garden hose for the faucet, a window for the mirror, a bottle top for the handle there, and then boring walls, floors for the main part of the cabinet. Go up the stairs. Again, it's just the DJ up here. Again, I'm not familiar with BioShock or Rapture, and I saw a few screenshots of the city, but whether or not they've stuck true to the imagery there, I really couldn't say. There might be some things that others might notice or might appreciate more. I just appreciate the work that went into creating, what you see here. If you're wondering how to get the round windows, that's just arches that have been sandwiched together in a way that it forms a round window shape. The only thing you have to contend with is that you will see the edges of the arches in the straight part. There's one of those octobushes. Some spooky windows for that one over there, I think. Really hard to get shots of outside. Yeah, there's one of those shellacs up there. I'm sure it took them a while to get all of that in order there. As far as the buildings, I imagine. It's not like you build this and then try to build the buildings outside while you're standing here. I'm sure they built the other first. Then we go into the bunker house. And from what I can tell, this is like a subway station of sorts. Reminds me of the one I built, but it looks much neater than I think what I did. They have this nice little like subway train capsule thing. Got the part where the conductor is. It's just made out of granite style. It could be Chua, but I think it's granite. Oh, maybe it actually is Chua because it's more patchy. Curved pieces, floors, domes to get the main construction, using posters to kind of patch it up as advertisements and stuff. And then I think it's one of the new lights for Exile version for the lighting on that. The track is just Chua pillars. And I'm not quite sure what they're using for the little bit here. It could be a maintenance platform. It could be any number of things. For the little globe thing here, that's just two domes put together. Looks like it's on one of those Gothic pillars and surrounded by such. You got the little, I presume, like the ticket booth here. Got it boxed in nicely. And then I'm not sure who this is supposed to be. Maybe the mayor comes and has a little private dinner up here while people are doing their thing, but there's that. Again, it could be, clearly representative of what's in, I guess it's a game. I don't even know what the BioShock is, but I assume something like that. So that is Stella Del Quasar's Rapture plot. We visited some of their stuff in the past, and they always come up with some interesting little bits. So it's always a treat to come to one of theirs. Okay, next one is